Hey everyone, Egman here with another video. Today we've got my starter Frieza deck that I took to Daylon Max All-Star Invitational that happened this past weekend. If you didn't know what the event was, it was a 32-man invitational event, single elimination, and first place takes the prize of $1,000. So very exciting. Spoilers, I lost round 1 with this deck against Justin Rios. It was pretty close. We got to game 3, but he ended up getting it. He ended up getting second for the tournament too, so I'm not too salty that I lost to second place in this whole thing, but definitely wanted to play more, so that kind of sucked. But I think the deck is good, and we'll talk about it. Also, if you want to see the gameplay, there will be a link in the description, and also a clip, or it will be in the end of this video too, a link to it, so make sure to watch that. I'll hopefully have it kind of, sectionized so you can see the games. There was one big mistake, I'd say, in game 2 where I took single strike instead of double strike for it. I'll pin it and everything. I don't think it mattered, but it's something to note. And I lost anyways, but I mean, obviously, I should have taken the double strike, right? But there's that. If there's anything else you guys notice in the video or any other rulings that I got wrong, make sure to mark in the video, and I'll have it in the pinned comment, the fixes for it. But let's actually talk about the deck. So you guys know I love this leader. I'm trying to make him viable for a while. And the big reason that I haven't been trying him out as much recently is because for at least last month's the tournaments, they needed to be, have the physical cards, and I think a lot of people are like me right now, where both the Zarbons and the Ginyus, both from tournament promos from tournament packs, they're just super duper expensive right now. I don't have any events to go to, which is fine. I know why, but I just physically don't own these cards, so I haven't played with this deck otherwise. And but now that it's online, I don't have to actually have the cards. I can bling it out. So this is definitely an expensive deck. It's probably close to like 1,000. Yeah, dang. But that's fine. So I don't know. I wouldn't get these cards, obviously. I mean, Metacoolers already and rebrands are pretty expensive and everything. But I think this is probably like the peak of where this deck can be, at least in this current format in a lot of ways. So real quick, if you don't know what this leader does, it is so permanent. You can't include Saiyan cards in this deck, which is really rough sometimes. It's fine. I think it's fine for what it is, but more or less you'd have to just actually you gotta make sure you don't accidentally do it. I think it's something that I've done a while, especially super combos. Like you really want to have Paragus as a super combo, but you can't, but that's fine. And then also has this auto, so choose one Frieza's army card in your battle area, place owner's drop, and this card attacks the leader card. Your opponent chooses one card in their hand, discards it, and add up to one card in your left of your hand. So this is really nice, being able to self-awaken and also be able to start discarding cards from your opponent's hands. I wish it was just attack in general, because there's a lot of times when you want to attack into a Unison card instead of a leader card, but that's fine. Self-awakening is really good. You really just want to get to 4 life as soon as you can. And so I think this is a good leader for that. And then on the awaken side, so when this card attacks, draw 1, and then active main instead of auto when this card attacks. You can choose one Frieza's army card in your battle area, place his owner's drop, then choose one card in you get to choose a card in your opponent's hand, which is better. Discard it, then choose one of your green using cards that gets critical for the turn. So backside's fantastic. Being able to snipe cards out of your opponent's hand, give your Unison card critical, and you can also, if you swing with your leader, use its effect, awaken, and then awaken, or use its effect, and then after you awaken, you can discard another Green Frieza army to discard 2 on the flip. So that's kind of nice. And so let's go into it. So this is a pod build, and I would never run pod if this wasn't best of 3, which this tournament also was. I feel like this card is just too rough and aggressive matchups. So being able to switch it out for more relevant cards is really good. But if you are playing at best of 3, I think pod is really good in the main. If you're playing anything that lets you get to turn 3, you just start getting so much value from this, and you're able to take advantage of how many cards you get to draw every turn. So I think it's really good, especially with Ginyu. Since Ginyu, you can proc this effect on your opponent's turn, which wasn't previously allowed. There wasn't really a good way to do this previously without Ginyu. Since Ginyu, when this card is played, so it's a counterattack for 1 energy as long as you have a Unison out. And when this card's played up to 1 green Frieza army with 9k power less from your drop area to your hand, and if you did, choose 1 card in your hand, discard it. So you can just draw Dodoria, then drop Dodoria, and then Dodoria will play itself, and you get a card draw from Healing Pod. So for 1 energy, you get to negate an attack, get 2 guys onto your board, and then also get to draw a card, which is super duper good value. For 1, especially when you factor in dormant potential, will stop, will activate on the first swing, and the second swing you play this, go +3, I guess technically, and then you count, they can't swing for the rest of the turn either. So that's just a really nice combo and gains a lot of value. So that's like a really good like turn 2 or so, and really recommend it. So also you guys might notice that my Unisons might not be what you'd expect. So I have 4 of the Demigra Unison and 4 of the Metacooler Unison. I'm running Demigra, and so there's no Frieza Xeno, right? I think that's the one people are expecting, because Demigra is really good, but he doesn't actually let you discard cards from your hand, and I think that's fine. And the reason I'm running Demigra is, one, you can play him turn. Like I think the big thing with Frieza, especially if you're running pod builds, is that you didn't really have time to play pod turn 1 and then Frieza Xeno turn 2, right? You weren't really doing anything when you did that, and Frieza Xeno didn't really put a lot of pressure on the board, especially when Metacooler. You just want to play this turn 3 anyways, right? And in so many cases, like if you played Frieza Xeno turn 2, you just want to play Metacooler turn 3. So that's what I did instead. And I really, really like Demigra. We all know this. I've put this in like so many of my decks, and this helps you self-awaken earlier. I know we already self-awakened with Frieza, but just a lot of pressure. Being able to just play this turn 1 and then have something that can always have Dormant Potential ready, or Frieza Charismatic Villain as well. Like both those are just really good effects to have on this guy. This just can pressure things, and the -3, like what you'd want to do ideally is play this guy turn 1. And then just every turn add a counter to it, and then turn 3 use its -3 effect to destroy 2 of your opponent's cards, and then just slap down Metacooler, and then go from there. It's such a good value swing in turn 3. Turn 3 is really when you want to go off. Turn 3 is when you want to awaken, and it's just a lot of good value all around. So and getting rid of barrier cards is fantastic. When I was playing against Justin Rios, and I really felt like I needed to get Demigra on the deck, because I felt like there's a strong chance of him playing either Invoker, so this can destroy the 3-drop Vegeta, or AOD, so you can destroy the Babidi with this. He was playing Vegex, which is neither of those, which I still think is a fine match. Like it's an even matchup in my mind, especially with Dormant Potential in the deck. That helps you out so much. But obviously, I would have liked Invoker or AOD for it. So that's the idea for that. And then Metacooler, it makes a lot of value, and he's just also your win condition too. You might feel like there's no big bomb, and Metacooler really is your win condition, believe it or not. So he's just able to generate a token every turn, and then his +1 effect lets you go like +2 or +3, depending if you have pod out, which is fantastic. With this thing having like 4 tokens on it, your opponent just has to like actually try to get rid of this card, and otherwise you can do its -4 effect on the next turn. Like I won game 2 because of the -4. Just being able to play so many tokens, just have so many little swings that even though they had like Babidi in hand, it did not matter, because that only stops like 1 swing, right? If I have like 4 more, it doesn't matter. So that's the idea there. So super combo Android 18, just because I want more hand destruction. And I like the fact that this is always live in hand too, because if they're trying to do like an early game crit, like Double Strike or something, you can use Android 18 to try to get out of it. So it helps you out a lot. We ran 4 rebrands. I think if you only have like 2 or 3, that's fine. You can make some substitution, but this just helps for additional hand destruction in a lot of ways. And you usually don't use it until like turn 3 or turn 4, but it's a really, really good turn 4 play. When you're not, you have finally enough energy. Like that's a big thing for this deck. There's a lot of things you want to do, and you have to get enough energy to do it. So like turn 1 you want to play Demigra, turn 2 you want to play Frieza Healing Pod, and then turn 3 you want to play Metacooler, and then after that you've got flexible energy to do whatever you want. And so especially on turn 2, if you want to use that 1 extra energy after playing Pod, you can use it to play Zarbon or something. But if you wanted, you should probably hold it on for Ginyu if you have that card. So what else? We also have 2 of this card, the Doria Coppola, just to help us self-awaken. Just Double Strike is fine for this guy, and he's Frieza's army, so he can be searched with Zarbon, and can also just end the game and everything like that. We're running 2 Furthering Destruction Champa. I think this card is really important for this deck. We don't have a lot of ways to actually finish the game, and so just having this guy in is good, especially if we have like a Unison Double Strike crit going on. That's also very powerful. So that's why I chose him. I think he's fine. 2 is the right number, no more than that, since he can be dead in hand later in the game. But and then also 2 Roshis. This card's very important to make sure we can just cycle our Dormant Potentials later in the game. It can just be very helpful as well. So that's the main deck. I think this is pretty solid, and I really believe like this is the best core for this deck moving forward. And at least in this meta, I don't think there's much you can really do more than this right now. And then the sideboard, we ran 3 of the Vegeta Resolute Agent Unison. This card is just for boards that for big boards, since you can just wipe them. He also has the discard one, so you can just discard Dodoria and play it for free, which is nice. Kuisakai, we ran 2 of him because it's just a really good card, so why not run him? Unexpected Turn, this is more for AOD stuff. Dodoria brimming with power. I don't know how I feel about this card. He's not bad though, right? For 1 energy, you're able to counterplay, make sure your opponent's card goes to the drop area and doesn't get played, or even gets its skills. So like things like Topo, like this stops Topo, which was kind of a bane for this deck because it buys them another turn sometimes. Then also 2 more of this Dodoria too, in case we just need to really self-awaken, or like the double strike pressure is really good. Just being able to pressure their Unison cards with double strike is fantastic. And then 2 shocking death balls in case we need more negates, because we only actually have 4 actual negates with Ginyu, and so being able to have some solid negates is really good. Because Dormant Potential, swing 1 and then being able to just hard negate swing 2 is really, really good. So you want to keep doing that. And that's really it. So this is the deck. I'll probably talk more about the tournament in general in my next video, or at least when I get all the deck lists, so I can do more of a results-based one. But it was a really good time. I wish I played more games. I know single elimination is really harsh in a card game, but I understand why it happened. And it was a lot of fun. I really wish, I don't know, I think I played well. Game 3 I didn't. I felt like I could play Game 3 a lot better, but I didn't. But let me know what you guys think about this deck. Let me know what you think about the tournament, and that'll be it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.